You can prevent and cure diabetes disease type 2. Diabetes is caused by high glucose. Here are some smart info on diabetes, symptoms, and diet. Diabetes is a disease caused by high glucose. You'll have diabetes and not even realize it. You'll be able to prevent and cure type 2 diabetes by taking action to regulate your glucose. It's strongly recommended that you simply shed a few pounds, exercise, and stop smoking. You must eat less of the foods that elevate blood glucose levels, including sugar and easy carbohydrates. Here are sensible informations about the way to prevent and cure type 2 diabetes. In this video you will learn: what is diabetes, the blood glucose disease? What you must do to stop and cure diabetes. The diet to stop and cure diabetes. There are 3 kinds of diabetes: type 1, type 2 and gestational diabetes. The symptoms of diabetes are thirst, hunger and urination. The home test for diabetes. Those who are in danger to urge diabetes. The complications of untreated diabetes are serious. How does insulin treat diabetes? The diabetes epidemic is spreading. What is diabetes, the glucose disease? Diabetes could be a over normal level of sugar within the blood. A healthy body digests food into sugars that enter the bloodstream for energy and storage. During a healthy body, the pancreas produces insulin to manage the extent of sugar within the blood. Insulin could be a hormone that's needed to convert sugar, starches and other foods into energy for everyday life. Diabetes is the condition that happens if the body cannot produce insulin, or the body cannot use insulin properly. When sugar levels within the blood remain high, you have got diabetes. The blood glucose level is additionally called the glucose level. Diabetes can't be cured, but it are often successfully managed and controlled. What you must do to stop and cure diabetes, type 2. Although there's no cure for diabetes, the disease are often controlled. All sorts of diabetes are treatable since insulin became available in 1921. In many of us, type 2 diabetes could also be controlled with lifestyle changes, exercise and diet. The doctor may recommend medications. The target is to stay the glucose level within the conventional range. The symptoms of type 2 diabetes often disappear if you follow a healthy diet low in carbohydrates, avoid foods which elevate the glucose, turn and acquire regular exercise. Do not forget to urge moving. Exercise is one in every of the simplest ways to assist control diabetes. You'll also want to regulate your pressure. After you stop smoking and slenderize, you furthermore may prevent and cure your diabetes. The diet to forestall and cure diabetes, type 2. A diet to regulate diabetes necessitate vegetables, whole grains, meat, dairy and fruits, all eaten sparsely. The diabetes diet eliminates sugar, refined flour and processed foods. Processed meats like bacon, sausage, hot dogs should even be avoided. In fact, this diet is superb for nutrition and weight loss, too. There are 3 kinds of diabetes: type 1, type 2 and gestational diabetes. There are 3 kinds of diabetes. They're called type 1 diabetes, type 2 diabetes and gestational diabetes. Type 1 diabetes results when the body cannot produce insulin. When the beta cells of the islets of Langerhans within the pancreas is incapable to produce insulin, insulin deficiency is the result. Type 1 diabetes, usually diagnosed in children, must be treated with insulin. It also can be called childhood onset diabetes, autoimmune diabetes, or insulin-dependent DM. Type 2 diabetes results when the cells cannot use insulin properly. The cells are said to be insulin resistant and therefore the level of insulin might also be low. It's the foremost common style of diabetes. Many cases of type 2 diabetes are often controlled with diet and exercise. Type 2 diabetes is additionally called non-insulin dependent diabetes, obesity-related diabetes, and ketoacidosis-resistant diabetes mellitus. Gestational diabetes is when a pregnant woman experiences high blood glucose levels. It always disappears after childbirth. Pre-diabetes is diagnosed when an individual's glucose levels are beyond normal but below the extent for type 2 diabetes. The symptoms of diabetes are thirst, hunger and urination. Common symptoms of diabetes you may notice are increased thirst, increased fluid intake, increased hunger and more frequent urination. Diabetes also can cause mood swings, stress, blurred vision, fatigue, and eye, foot and skin problems. Often when type 2 diabetes develops slowly over a variety of years, an individual doesn't even notice the changes. The home test for diabetes. If you have got diabetes, your professional person will show you the way to test your blood glucose level reception. Testing devices are practically pain-free. The American Diabetes Association recommends that your glucose level be between 80 and 120 milligrams per deciliter before meals, and between 100 and 140 milligrams per deciliter at bedtime. Diet and exercise can help control your blood glucose levels. Some people will require insulin. By following the recommendation of your doctor, you'll be able to defeat diabetes. Those that are in danger to urge diabetes. The risk factors for diabetes are age, weight, smoking, high cholesterol, high pressure and ethnicity. You're more likely to urge diabetes as you gain weight and age. Besides the obese and therefore the elderly, diabetes is said to genetics and lifestyle factors. Diabetes is more likely to be a controversy if you smoke, have high cholesterol, have high pressure level and a sedentary lifestyle. Ethnicity is additionally a risk factor for diabetes. Diabetes is found more often among African Americans, Native Americans, Latinos, Asian Americans, and Native Hawaiians. It adds to your risk of diabetes if you're taking many prescription medications. The complications of untreated diabetes are serious. Untreated diabetes causes serious medical complications by destroying vital organs over time. This could ultimately result in blindness, stroke, nephrosis, cardiopathy and nerve and vessel damage. Diabetes without proper treatment can cause many complications. Diabetes also causes hypoglycemia, diabetic ketoacidosis, and coma. How does insulin treat diabetes? Insulin could be a hormone produced by a healthy pancreas to control the sugar within the blood. Early research into the function of insulin and therefore the use of injections of bovine insulin to treat diabetes was made by Banting and MacLeod at the University of Toronto, that they received the Nobel Prize in Medicine in 1923. Human insulin to treat diabetes was just developed for commercial use in 1980 by the biotech company Genentech. Insulin are often taken orally or by injection. The diabetes epidemic is spreading. Many people have heard about the disease called diabetes and therefore the diabetes epidemic within the U.S. Diabetes is increasing rapidly and has become a deadly disease. In 2008 there have been about 24 million people with diabetes within the U.S. alone. That's 8% of the population. 57 million additional people are estimated to possess pre-diabetes. How astonishing it's to be told that 27% of the population is either diabetic or pre-diabetic. Diabetes is the 7th leading reason for death within the U.S. Diabetes is becoming the epidemic of the 21st century. I hope life brings you much success. I wish you a happy day.